Shush, 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 shush. So here we are back in the nursery coop, and the reason I'm here is that one of the most frequent questions that we're asked is, at what age can the chicks leave the brooder box and go into the coop? So that's what we're going to look at today, and it really depends on two main factors, and that is the age of the birds and the condition of the birds in terms of how much feathering they've got, but also the outside air temperature where you live. So we're going to look at that. Firstly, in terms of the age of the birds, I'm going to show you some cream Legbars in a minute. This is one I've got here that is demonstrating, sitting on my shoulder. He is about 3 weeks old, if I can grab him. Come on. And if he'll let me, I'm going to show you his feathering. So you'll see him here. He is, as I said, about 3 weeks old. He has got pretty extensive feathering, a little bit of down on his neck there. Can you see him there? A little bit of down on his breast. But in terms of being feathered, he's pretty fully feathered now. So once they get to this stage, it's safe to let them out with restrictions outside into a coop. So that's him done. I'm just going to see if I can get another one just to show you. Let's try and find a little girl. Here's a little girl. Again, she's pretty well feathered. You can see she's got her primary feathers. Again, just a little bit of down on her neck. But in terms of, is she feathered enough to go outside? The answer is yes. But they will still need heat, and that's more of that coming up later, but they will still need heat. If I put her back now, I'll pick you up and show you the setup. Here they are. This is where they've spent the last 3 weeks in the brooder coop. I've removed the brooder plate, their food and water, because that's all set up in the coop that they're about to go into. So we will take them out and put them in there. The temperature at the moment, there's a little bit of snow on the ground. At night it gets down to maybe 2 or 3 degrees, but they've got to come out of here. It isn't healthy for them really to spend any longer in here. So yeah, so the temperature is down to about 2 degrees. So you'll see the setup I've got in the new coop. I've got brooder plates in there, and this is really about acclimatizing them from the brooder box into the coop. By the way, just as an aside, we'll just show you these little guys. These were hatched yesterday. These are some Ixworth chicks. So they've got their own little brooder box, and in about 3 weeks' time they're going to be following their little chums here and going out to a coop. But I just thought I'd show you some of those. These guys are about 18 hours old, and obviously they still need an awful lot of heat, so they're going to very gently, without squashing them, come on, go back down under there. So it's time to pick up these guys and put them in the coop, and I'll now show you where they're going, and then we'll pick them up and move them. So this is the run that they're going to eventually move into and spend the foreseeable future. It's a run that I've used for adult cream Legbars. You can see it's still covered from the avian flu restrictions. We're going to keep the cover on because it keeps it dry and safer for the chicks at the moment. But for the next few days, they are going to live inside this coop, and I'll show you around it's all ready to go. So they've got water in there, they've got some bedding, there's their food, they've got some nest boxes, there's a perch so they can perch up there if they want to. And what I've got at the moment is I've got their brooder plate in here. We'll go around and have a look at it from the other side. What I've done is I've put this mesh over because it's actually quite dark in there without that on, so I'll just take this off. I'll show you from this side. So we've got power coming from the house, running from over there. This is an extension lead which is surge protected and will be covered. It's under cover anyway, but it will be covered. I'll put a large bucket over there. And the brooder plate is in there, and what I'm going to do is this is all about acclimatizing them to the outside temperature. So this is going to be on for the first day or so, 24 hours a day, and then I'm just going to put it on at night, and that will stay on for probably 4 or 5 nights just to acclimatize them to the colder temperatures, and then it'll come off completely. So what we'll do now, just one final look around here. All set up and ready to go. I've adjusted the height on the brooder plate. It isn't, I mean, they're 3.5 weeks old now, just over 3 weeks old actually, so it isn't really designed now for them to go underneath it, although they can. The height is perfect for them to do it. It's really acting now as a bit of a heater inside the coop, and I'm sure they will they'll all cuddle up around it at night, but the whole idea at this stage is just to acclimatise them. So that's the coop they're going to go into. Let's go and get them now, and we'll put them in and see how they like it. So we've got them out of the brooder box, and they're now in the coop, so I'll show you what they're doing. Got to be careful in case they make a bid for freedom. There they are. Hello. So they're happy enough. They found their water, found the food. A couple of them have been up on top of the brooder plate there. A couple of them have been underneath it as well. So they should be fine now. I'll obviously keep a very close eye on them. And they should be healthy. So we'll just shut the door now, let them get on with it. So in answer to the question then, when is it okay to let chicks leave the brooder box and go into the coop, we've seen there are two main reasons, and that is the condition of the birds in terms of feathering. These are fully feathered, they can go outside, and also the air temperature as well. But there is another one which comes into account as well, and that is that if you have the ability to give them heat like I have, then they can probably go out a little bit earlier. If I didn't have the ability to give them heat, if I couldn't rig up a brooder plate in here, and this was a little bit further away from the house, then with the temperatures at night going down to maybe 1-2 degrees, and during the day not going anything above maybe 7 or 8 degrees Celsius, I would probably leave them another couple of days. But it was getting a bit stuffy inside the brooder box. I had the Ixworths in there as well, so I had to keep the temperature up. These guys didn't need it that warm, so it wasn't particularly healthy for them, so I had to move them. So they're fine now because I had the ability to give them heat. So fully feathered is the first thing to consider. Think about your outside air temperatures, particularly at night when you're not there, and things may get colder than you think. And do you have the ability to give them heat? If you do, then you can use that ability to just introduce them to the outside world slowly, get them acclimatized. As I said, for this one, they're going to have the brooder plate on for probably 24-48 hours. Then I'm going to turn it off during the day, and have it on at night for maybe 4 nights. Then I'm going to turn it off completely, and they're going to be acclimatized. And then they're going to spend maybe 3 or 4 days inside the coop, and then I'm going to let them out into the run, and by that time they should be fully acclimatized and ready to carry on their lives. So I'll keep you updated as to their progress, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.